Andrew Miller, and I play bass with Symphony New Brunswick. Now, if you ever go to an orchestra concert, you might see a lot of people on stage, and you're going to see me over to one side like this. Or you might come to smaller concerts, and you might see me in a very small group like this. Now, in all these things you've heard so far, it's about playing music. But here's a question: what is music? That's a very good question. And if I asked you what a house is made of, you might say, well, a house is made out of walls and a roof and a door and windows and toilets and that sort of thing. If I asked you what music is made out of, what would you answer? Well, I would say music is made out of sound. Now, what is sound? Well, believe it or not, sound is just air moving. That's right. If you go like this, and you move the air and it hits your ear, you can kind of hear it, right? Well, that doesn't really sound like music, or that doesn't really even sound like sound, because it's too slow. You're moving the air too slow. So I'm going to show you a couple things on some machines that are, this thing is called a speaker. And speakers are specially made to move air. And if you hook up something like this to it, you can also make music and move air. If you have a phone or an iPod or any kind of device like this, it also has speakers, but they're really, really tiny and they're hidden inside, and they look like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to a special kind of speaker that is not hidden at all, and we can see how it works. So here's a kind of special speaker, and you can see how it works, and all it is, it's a piece of plastic or a piece of paper, and it just moves back and forth, and it moves the air. So I'm going to tell the computer to start moving some air. I'm going to move some air 5 times every second. You can kind of see it moving, but if I put something on it, it bounces around. See? Oops. Yeah, it's bouncing around. And if I move it even faster than 5 times a second, it starts sounding like this. Now I'm at 74 times a second. That's what it sounds like when it's 300 times a second, and so on. So back to my instrument, the bass. Now the bass, like all instruments, is also a machine to move air. And the thing with the bass, like all string instruments, is it uses strings to move air, and I'll show you. You can see it kind of goes back and forth, kind of like the speaker does. The thing is that the string vibrates back and forth, but it doesn't really move very much air. What it does is it connects to the bridge, and then the bridge connects to the whole instrument. Then all the air inside the whole instrument starts moving air, and that's what gets you sound. So that note I just did, which is just the lowest note, that's 33 times a second. Then this note is 55 times a second. And then 110 times a second. Now, in music, we usually don't talk about the number of times a second the air moves. What we talk about is what's called pitch. And pitch is the name that we give to the number of times it goes a second. So The name of this note is A. That's 110 times a second. 124 times a second is called a B. 131 times a second is a C. And so on. Now, a lot of this might start to sound familiar if you're familiar with a keyboard, like a piano keyboard. So here's the same notes on the keyboard. So we got A, B, and then a C. But pianos aren't just magical things. They actually work on the same principle as the bass. So on the bass, the reason why the pitch went up is because I put my fingers down and it made the string shorter. And a piano is kind of something similar. If I take it apart like this, you can see all the strings inside. And instead of putting your hands inside here to make the string shorter, it just has longer strings like the A and the B and the C. And you can better close that back up before the cat gets in. Now everybody's stuck at home most of the time, and we're trying to think of things to do. And one of the things we're supposed to do is wash our hands. And one of the ways to know how long we're supposed to wash our hands is we count to 20, like 20 seconds. Or there's another way to think about it, is you wash your hands long enough to sing happy birthday. Now how does happy birthday go? Well, I'm going to remind you how happy birthday goes. And if you like this video, stay tuned for more. See ya!